Junkies on 106.7 The Fan. Got a lot going on. Brought back the keyword for cash. That started yesterday. You need to listen to this station, 106.7 The Fan, from 9 until 7, because coming up at 9:05 is your first chance to win. Just listen for the keyword, then dial **win if you're the randomly selected nationwide entrant. And you know the keyword, you can win $1,000. That goes on all the way till 6:05.
Yes.
9:05, 10:05, 11:05, 12:05. Your chance to win $1,000.
Hey, real quick, because I know we won't get to it unless I bring it up now, but Miami played Arkansas State this past weekend.
You're definitely right. We wouldn't get to that.
Yeah. There was you got to see the highlight of this. So Miami's up 20-7 second quarter. Arkansas State on a fourth and whatever was, they line up in punt formation. Right. All right. They snap the ball to the punter. One of the wideouts on the side, what do they call those guys? Gunners or whatever they call them. Right. He literally just he faked his own heart attack. He goes, you got to see it. You got to see.
We can put it on watchthejunkies.com.
He grabs his chest and he just falls backwards.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, like he's dying on the field.
And he's just laying there splayed out on the turf.
I don't know what they were trying to do. Maybe distract the.
Did it work?
No, they threw an interception on the fake punt.
And then he got up from his fake. Then he got up from his fake death and got blown up by one of the players from Miami.
Nobody even paid attention to it.
It's interesting.
Then he got up and the guy from Miami pummeled him.
That's the worst drawn-up play ever.
It's interesting you bring it up.
Pick.
We're going to put it on the Junkies Facebook page. Do like our Facebook page. It's The Junkies in the search column. So put The Junkies in there and you'll get to it. Like the page. We'll put it up there. It's interesting you bring up that
one of the
because
worst plays
nobody
ever.
paid attention to him falling backwards. Yesterday, I took Dylan out to work on learning to ride a bike. He's 7. He probably should have already learned it.
Oh, my 5-year-old been doing it for a year.
But
Come on.
He has kind of fought with me about it.
Weak sauce.
Fought with me about it for a long time. And it's like, we got to quit this dance. You know, I ride scooters. I don't like bike, blah, blah, blah. You got to learn to ride a bike. So we go out to this path around a lake where there's woods, and I get him going a few times on the path. He goes 5 or 6 seconds, and he's about to crash, and I catch him 5 or 6 seconds. So we got up to like 14 seconds at one point, and we passed this old couple, and I didn't want to let him go while the old couple is walking on the path.
Sure. You could be liable. You
so
could be ugly.
I let them walk by, and they actually said, "Good luck." And the very next time I start Dylan going, and this will tell you how people sometimes are good Samaritans and other times they walk by just like those players at Miami didn't pay attention to the fake heart attack. So Dylan goes for a few seconds and I'm running with him right by his side, but now he's going a little bit faster. And all of a sudden he jerks it to the right and he darts into the woods, which there's a steep little hill, and he has like a massive crash. I mean, a massive crash into prickly bushes. The tree starts crying, and that old couple just kept walking right down the path.
They didn't care.
Like nothing happened.
They didn't care. After Daddy was there, they knew you had it covered. Did you want them? Did you want them to help?
Well, I think it would have been nice if they said, "Is everything okay?"
Yeah.
He was 15 feet into the woods.
I wouldn't even have noticed that.
It was a monster crash.
I would have noticed.
How old were they?
75?
Oh, they probably didn't even see it.
They have other fish to
They
fry.
didn't see it or hear it.
They're just happy to be
going
there.
into the woods.
They're just happy to be
It's an
alive.
elderly couple going for a walk.
But I can give you honestly, I'm going to give you an honest suggestion here. And this is something that I learned from my in-laws and my wife. That you could teach your kid. I've told you this before. You can teach your kid to ride a bike in 2 minutes, literally in 20 minutes guaranteed. I'll give you a free roll. I should give you some money that if he doesn't learn it, I'll just give you money. You take him to the park and you just have him do it on grass and just let him go because he fall down on grass, no big deal. He will learn to ride his bike within 5 minutes. I've seen it happen to all 3 kids. They learn it the very first day at ages 4 and 5.
I've taken him to the grass. Here is the problem. My son has his quirks. He refuses to sit on the seat.
Well,
If you don't sit on the seat and you try and ride your bike like this when you're first starting
a lot
out,
harder.
Who
the
rides their
goes
bike
to left
standing
and
up
right.
unless you're like
Well,
Lance
I mean-
Armstrong in the Pyrenees
tie
Mountains?
his ass to the seat and say, "Listen, Dick, you're going to learn to ride the bike today, okay?" And you give him 5 minutes on the grass, and he will figure it out. I've seen it happen to 3 kids. Now, maybe I just have
understand.
just silly kids, but I mean, I don't think that's necessarily
I
the case.
understand. I was on the path and he was going back and forth on this path. And look, I've tried the grass before. The problem with the grass is you have to pedal a little bit harder. And if your butt isn't on the seat to start out, it's very difficult. I'll pay you to come over and teach him how to do it.
Well, you
This
send Dina
lady
over there.
walked
She'll have
by.
him. She'll have him learn.
Dina gets dispatched over there.
This lady walked by and
Well,
said,
man, I don't care about your
the-
kid.
The lady walked by and said just to put him on a hill with grass instead of down the hill.
No, you don't have to do that. You just have him on we just take it to a local park, and you just say, "Here you go, shorty," and
He's
then
on the
within
cusp.
5 minutes they're riding. They just figure it out.
Hey, maybe you hire Drab. Drab's giving tennis lessons. We know he's not qualified to give those.
The
He can give
fact
bike
that he
riding
went-
lessons.
The fact that he went 14 seconds and didn't nail it from there, I'm stunned. Because usually it just takes one time to kind of really go, and then they're off and running.
Right, because
Yeah, but the turns are tough. The turns will be tough for him. I mean, he can go straight line, but the
Well,
turns
just-
will be tougher.
I mean, on the grass?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. But it's all about just getting your balance. And then once you get your balance,
Yeah,
they
I mean,
figure
if
it
he's
out.
got any athleticism at all, he
Yeah.
should be able to
It's a
pull
little
it.
bit suspect.
of course
Yeah.
he should be able to pull
If he's
it.
hurt, then it's going to be
The
tougher. It'll take him a few more
problem
weeks.
is, I'm telling you, I don't know why
You won't sit?
he won't sit on the seat.
Well, that's a
Say,
fundamental
listen,
problem.
hey, listen, you want to eat tonight? Sit on the seat. I mean, I just don't have time for
Just
this
don't
crap.
pull Adrian Peterson on him. All right,
Yeah,
don't
don't
do
get a
anything.
switch.
It looked like
Don't
it
do
looked
anything.
like an Adrian Peterson
easy.
situation.
Don't do anything
because
crazy.
We did this and we headed over to my daughter's soccer game, and he's got cuts all along his right arm, his left leg.
Yep.
He's got cuts everywhere.
And you say, "Oh, bike accident." People raise their eyebrow. Like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
sure.
Okay, bike accident. Sure, buddy.
The only
gotta
thing
worry
is
about
I
that.
actually had some cuts because I had to go in and retrieve
Right.
everything and go through all the prickly bushes.
Well, at least you didn't have the Montgomery County Police come to your door yesterday.
not
like
again,
happened at my house
You're kidding.
yesterday.
Did somebody
What
get
happened?
their head stuck in a
Nope.
banister?
Nope.
Or a banister?
And I
as he once called it?
kind of saw this coming because remember I talked about it probably happened about a month ago where there was vandalism all over my neighborhood and
Are they playing mailbox hockey again or whatever?
no. The two Montgomery County policemen came to my house. I wasn't there. I just left to pick up one of my kids from school. They came because the people that committed the vandalism did it in a silly Saturn view. And what do I have sitting in my driveway? A green Saturn view. So I guess they must have, a list.
So it was the same color, too?
Not the same color. They came and rang the doorbell. Kurt was the only person home.
Mm-hmm.
They
They probably
probably
thought it was-
suspected
they thought it was Kurt.
They had, they're doing their due diligence. They have to, they
Right.
probably have a printout. There aren't that many Saturn views still left out there. I mean, it's a 10-year-old car.
All right.
I've got one sitting in my driveway. They ring the doorbell. The 17-year-old kid answers.
Right.
And the perpetrators are, they believe, between like 16 and 20 years
Fits
old.
the profile.
So they look at him. They're like, do you mind if we come in and ask you a few questions? He goes, sure, come on in. They show him the full video. They say, that's not you in the video, is it? And Kurt goes, because we had told him, I said, look, the cops might have a hairy eyeball for you driving this car around because
Oh, at
So
least
you
you
had-
warned him.
You had warned him.
You
You
had
I had warned
anticipated
him.
it.
Amy and I had warned him
Can
because
you move out of that ghetto already?
I'm sure it's ghetto.
Kind of is. There's vandalism every 2 weeks.
So he says,
Murder.
officer, no, that car is silver. My car is green. That
Right.
car has a rack on the top. My car doesn't.
Right.
And they said, do you know anybody else that owns a Saturn View? Like there's some cool Saturn View
Like-
club to be in.
Yeah, like
And
Corvettes.
Kurt goes, no, I'm sorry, I really don't know anybody that drives a car similar to this one. And they went on
kept
their
his
way.
cool? He wasn't
yeah,
anxious?
No, he was fine. But they were
Oh,
there
so
for
he
5
handled it.
minutes.
Good.
They were questioning him,
He
and
didn't crack under pressure.
he's no longer a person of interest. He's no longer a suspect in the case.
You taught your kids stop snitching.
Stop snitching. Snitches
When did
get
that
stitches. Yesterday afternoon, around 3
when did the
o'clock.
vandalism happen?
About a month ago. 50
And-
cars were hit, broken windshield / tires.
Was that the only time that they did that? Or was that happened multiple times?
I think it happened over like a 12 to 18 hour span,
Oh, yeah.
and they hit like 50 vehicles in 4 different neighborhoods.
Not
Yeah,
probably
that
good
would be
council kids.
Who knows?
So tilting.
Tilt
So
City.
tilting.
Why are you throwing good counsel under the bus?
Because I liked it.
Right. Because he's the math
I like
guy.
to throw St. John's, Gonzaga, O'Connell, good counsel, all of
He
them.
just
Anybody-
gratuitously
Paul the
slander
Sixth,
to school.
Anybody who's in the WCAC besides the
So
math.
Kurt Alvo's no longer a suspect in that case.
Good.
Yeah, it is good.
When's he picking his college? Got to be coming up
He's,
soon.
he's in the he's sending off applications right
But
now
you got like
as we
you got a
speak.
smarty pants. Like he's looking at like North Carolina, dude. He's looking at good schools.
He's got a, I'll say this, he has a more impressive list than his pops had way back in the day.
Hey, what would you do if Kurt goes, if you say he goes to Carolina or something,
Yeah.
Duke, like a really nice school,
Right.
and you pay, I don't know, 150 grand, whatever it is.
Yeah, I'll be happy to do that, by the way.
And
Look
then,
how happy I
and then he
look that I'm
comes
gonna
home.
do
You know,
that.
you know where I'm going with this, right?
Yeah.
And then he comes home and he goes, Pops, got 3 interviews lined up.
Right.
Taco Silly, Toys R Us.
I would
and
say-
what was the other one he did?
Foot Locker.
Foot Locker.
I would say, well, I hope you have a silly high-paying radio gig in your back pocket that you don't know about. I hope that happens.
Or if he goes to a school and he gets a communications degree.
Right.
Well,
I mean, it did work out for you.
It worked
but that's
out for
an
me, but
accident.
I'm one
That's
of the few,
that's a
trust me.
fluke.
Worked out for you and Jay Gruden.
Yeah, I would.
ComArts.
I would say it might not be the best degree.
Right.
Might want to look elsewhere.
Right.
So,
For
yeah,
people that don't know, that it is a true story. Cakes graduated from college and is so clueless he didn't know what to do. So he looked at the paper, I guess. I presume or you went to a fair or
I went to
something.
silly job fair.
He went to a
Towson.
job fair at Towson, which is what they used to do 20 years ago. I don't even know if they still do that. And Cakes lined up 3 interviews. He got his degree from college. Lined up 3 interviews. I mean, God bless these businesses.
Or were
but
they
as a
lined up
college
interviews or were they
graduate,
on the spot? They were probably on the spot.
I don't even
5-minute
remember.
interviews.
no, because he did real life
These
job.
guys were acting like they were running Microsoft right out of college. JP
No.
was pushing papers for a mortgage company.
No, but I
EB was
knew-
like following old people around an old person's home.
But I knew when I graduated
Hey,
college.
way to fight back. Fight back,
I
Cakes.
like that too, Cakes. But I knew when I graduated college, I didn't want a career at Foot Locker.
I didn't want to
Well, he
make it
didn't
my
necessarily-
career. I wanted,
just
a,
wanted a
job.
job.
And then that job just turned into my job for 4.5 years.
He wanted a job that he can go outside and smoke for 20 minutes.
Hey,
That wasn't really part of the plan, but that's kind of the way it
He
worked
just wanted a
out.
smoke break.
you were a manager, right?
Of course, I was
Big time.
Of course, I was management material. I'm a leader of men, JP. We all know this.
All right, when we come back, let's tackle this Adrian Peterson situation. More details
See
came
what you
out
did there.
yesterday.
Tackle Adrian Peterson.
Apparently, there's another son of his from a different mother where there actually was a complaint filed about child abuse, but the Vikings, they know about it. They're going to have him back on the field. Do you think that's right? Phone number's 800-636-1067.